Well, greetings everybody, and welcome to the weekly calamity we call the Inworld Review. Um, it's been subjected to a weird time warp.
Hmm.
Me no understanding this, but the bloke on my right is in one time, and the girl on my left is in another time. And as for me, I'm sort of stuck in the middle, except I'm closer to the girl on my left, if you see what I mean. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. They tell me it's something about time zones, which in this online age we all thought would have disappeared a long while ago.
Mm-hmm. We
Everybody
hope.
should be using UTC. Yes, they should.
Yeah.
Anyway, here it is good old winter time in Britain, and it's good old normal time in Europe too, but it's summertime in the USA, although is it summer over there? Both of you sounded like you were freezing.
Oh
Would be
no, it'll
bum.
be 65 Fahrenheit tomorrow for us in Wisconsin, in the United States.
Oh, right. So it's about the same as
What,
us.
what is that? What is that in
It's
European in
probably
centigrade?
18 or 19 would be my
Oh my
guess.
God!
Yeah,
Really?
very
It's
nice.
good. It's yeah.
Okay.
Once we're approaching 70, I'm happy. But
Hmm.
anyway, it's yeah. That's life, isn't it? So you could say spring is in the air. I doubt if it's actually here. Yes, I'm told that by Tuesday the UK will be in Arctic conditions again. So don't turn off the heaters. Don't put all the winter clothing into storage. You're still going to need it. Well, in the UK, you are. Right. Okay. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. There is something about the weather that the Brits love talking about. But there ain't no weather in virtual worlds unless you actually artificially create rain and snow and all the rest of it. So we don't really have to worry about anything like that here at all, except for power cuts and et cetera, et cetera. Right. My name is Mal Burns. I'm host of the show. On my right-hand side, my right-hand man, as it were, James Atlloud, he who is fond of sitting and fiddling with the knobs. Welcome, James.
Oh, thank you, Mal. It's great to be here. The studio setting has become quite infoliated. There are many more trees.
Yeah, lots of trees,
Yeah,
flowers,
yeah.
and it's meant to look a bit,
Mm.
even a little bit inside here, but outside, at the sides, it's meant to look like we're in a heavily hidden in foliage.
We are
In fact,
heavily hidden.
the whole quarter of this region is foliage heavy,
Yep.
with a expanded garden underneath and a zoo later on. Right, and on my left-hand side, the left-hand lady. What do I say? It's Tosha Tyran. Welcome, Tosha.
Well, thank you, James. Leave James alone, and he really gets creative, and he lets things grow everywhere. The whole
You mean
sim
me?
looks really
Yeah,
really
she means you,
fun.
Mal. Yep.
Oh, sorry, I meant Mal. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, I'm glad that a bit of creativity left in me. It's a long,
yeah.
long
That's
while.
right.
I mean, it's like just I've forgotten half of it, so I'm just refreshing my memory. So it's useful just in case I need to be able to do it for some reason. But
Mm, mm.
I did enjoy it, and I'm doing it now. Enjoying it now. It's sort of, but I tell you what it is. It's a real time sink.
Oh yeah.
If you think doing news and all this stuff on the web is, I've got that down to a fine art, but there's very little you can do to make a fine art out of landscaping and stuff. There's tricks you can use like recycling mesh and things, but but it's fun. That's what it's all about, really.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, talking of fun, we just a quick update on what's on and where, so to speak. Um, I think. Can't find the. Oh, there we are. Okay, still on. Of course, we're now a week into it. Is the Open Sim World's Fair? Um, Still happening, going on a month. It's getting mixed reviews, but I mean, it is astonishingly overcrowded in terms of build, and I don't think I've spoken to anybody who hasn't actually experienced some degree of lag, and especially at the busy times, which actually seem to be American time. I know Wolf Territories is run from the UK here, but it's most of the posts that are going on Facebook and the other places are all coming in sort of in what is the later evening for me. But there's certainly enough happening. There's a lot of gig events too, so they're obviously bringing people in for the gigs every day anyway. So yeah, you can find them at on the web at opensimworldsfair.com, and yeah, it's a normal well, it's port. I think it's the normal port. We'll find out later anyway. But yeah, you can go and check that one out. Coming up, we have to advertise it, of course, because we're involved with this, and that's April 4th to 6th. We have the Hypergrid International Expo. This is a special sort of event where we choose 4 European languages at this point in time. Anyway, we might be getting to the Spanish next year, but more on that later. Not Spanish, Japanesey.
But we are having Portuguese this year too.
Yeah.
There was one Portuguese lady, Rosa. I don't remember her name. She is translating everything to Portuguese, so everybody that is capable of understanding Portuguese is especially invited. They can now listen to all the things also in Portuguese. Well, they can read all
Very
the.
much. Despite that's also, in fact, the case for English. We do get many English people coming. There's no presentations done in English, but there's always the English group where you get live translation whilst it's actually going on. So yes, and wonderful Tosha here has been very busy, I know, on translation type stuff behind the scenes. So well done, Tosha, despite the vanishing operating systems you've been.
Yeah.
Some operating systems are a thing of the week, apparently. Oh, I'll reinstall Firestorm. Where's Windows gone? But I'm glad you've recovered from that. And no doubt you're back scripting again.
Well,
Okay.
whatever. If you hear me talking crazy tonight, you know it's because of that. A complete crash of my computer, and I'm trying to restore it all. So I'm really confused, lack of sleep, and angry and crazy, and sometimes laughing too. So it's
Yeah.
all that.
So it's exhaustion, I think. I tend to do that if I'm tired and stuff. I tend to laugh more than I should and giggle, like I'm doing now, in fact. So
Yeah,
come
we've
on.
all been there
Come on,
one
boys.
time or the other. We've had computer
Yeah.
failures, so we know it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, hopefully all fine now, except for the old restoration jobs and stuff. But good luck with all that. Right, moving on. I did have another slide to show you. I can't remember what it was. Oh no, it was just right. Just information stuff, really. Okay. So moving on. This is the last week for a while that we'll be covering Hypergrid Safari, simply because on Wednesday it was the final one of the season. I got it wrong. I thought this coming Wednesday was going to be the last one, but it's not. It's such the case. But we do have the blogs from Thursday, of course. And oops, it's not the one we want. It was where am I? There we are. Right, Thursday. Right. Okay. Okay. We went to. I'm going to try and do this in order. There we are. Okay. The first stop on Safari. Safari boosts its brains. Yeah. It's a place called Virtual Learning Village. And this is quite interesting because it's a type of grid we often talk about. It's usually closed, at least to Hypergrid tourists, because it's for learning and meditation and improving brain health, etc. I don't know whether it's children or just they like keeping it closed. But they opened it up for Safari, and it has a European feel, like an elegant suburb in a historic city. That wasn't all there was to it, as we'll find out when I move to the video. But let's just have a look at Thursday's pictures of the event. This was that kiosk there, very European-looking newspaper kiosk. There's the landing point. There we are, and big big building there. That also feels very European. one of the hosts, I believe.
I think that was
Okay,
Max. Yeah.
right. Okay, Max Hill. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and yeah, a train station with carrying coal by the look of it. No such not fun for passengers there.
Well, actually, this place left a lot of questions open for me. Because I wonder. I mean, I think the idea is crazy. You know, it's really good to make people learn how to, you know, customize their avatars and how to do all kinds of things in OpenSim. It's really great. But how does somebody find there? How does somebody get there?
Well, that's I think that's so that to me is a weird example here because firstly, it's not school children. It's not like an educational institution that has to be locked
No,
down.
no,
They
it's
choose
for
to,
normal avatars. Yeah.
yeah, they choose to keep it offline because they want it to be a tranquil place, blah blah blah. But if you can't hypergrade in, sort of what's the point? It's a bit like the big grids around DigiWorlds, Wolf Territories, OS Grid when it's up. Um, you can log into them all normally and then hypergrid in and out to wherever you want to go. That's part of the idea of OpenSim. The ability to switch off the hypergrid is useful for school kids who can't be let out into the other regions and stuff like that, but not really for something like this. And as you say, look at that wonderful thing. They're not the greatest of avatars, actually. I think they're all system avatars, but and somehow I've seen that how to customize your avatar all over the place, really. There's nothing particularly unique about this bit. What I did like, actually, is when I started roving around with the camera. Sort of, seem to be adamant on taking Safari around to these particular stops and, talking about them. And then a little bit outside here and the art of meditation, which they were talking about, and a little bit outside there, and then a bit of a long shot. And that's all we get from the Safari blog. But at this point, I'm going to move forward and switch to, yes, this will be it, I believe. This is the film I talk of the proceedings too. It's not a particularly long bit, maybe 2 shots here. But as you see, as I pan out, right, outside that building, which is basically where they put us all, there is the railway we saw a little sign of, but there's a vastly expanded region, which is simply for the meditation and everything else. When you arrive there, it feels like you're on a school grid or something. It's got that kind of a virtual learning focus and things. But the moment you move out of it here, there's a lot of creative stuff going on here. In fact, it really rather appealed to me because I'm on this region on Craft Grid where we are at our studio now. I've got lots of space to what I call fiddle. Play around. And yeah, there's a lot of inspiration in this. I like foliage and greenery. I like statues. I like little bits of flowers and things, and the things that makes it sort of rich. And it offsets the cartoony nature of some of the things you get. Sometimes the buildings look just a bit too built, whereas the foliage is, you get lost in it a bit. And well, we'll find out. I've got another new region coming up a bit later. That is some kind of staircase. I don't quite know. You walk up those massive stairs and then walk into a teleport. But let's see. Did I get? I can't read my own time here. I think I must have a couple of separate bits sort of clipped for this actually. Yeah, there we are. And half an avatar there. It looks like a cursor. That does actually. Half a third. There's a full cursor.
No, I really I like the region, no doubt about it, and was really some nice buildings and some everything beautiful. But it is a region that is made for learning and for meditating. Well, I don't know if meditating is not so much my thing, especially not online. But that's
Ah,
another story. But for learning, for new avatars, newcomers to Open Sim to learn, how do they find this place? You know,
well, good.
that is my question. I don't understand the meaning behind a place that is for learning in general, which you cannot practically not find. You know.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a real life organization called Ageless Mind that is behind this. And I feel like, the Ageless Mind project is where they speak and talk about bringing people in here to have the experience. So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not sure they're trying to
Okay.
get people in general on OpenSim to drop in, but they have people who want to
Okay.
have the learning experience. Yeah.
Basically that was then my question. I did not really understand that, because
Yeah.
if I think a new avatar that has not been in Second Life and not in Open Sim before, let's say, lands by whatever reason in Craft, well, why the hell, how the hell is he supposed to find this place then,
That's right.
Yeah.
to find out how to fix the avatar? That
Yeah.
seems
I was able to get back
very
in
strange. But
the next
with what you
day.
say,
Yeah.
Now, by the way,
mm,
this is the same. This is the same place we visited. It's off the center of where we came, but it's still the same island. And actually, you can see
uh,
that people who are here have been
mm,
having a lot of
mm.
time building.
No,
Uh,
but
yeah,
with what James said, it makes more sense. If it is
yeah,
an offline or a real life organization, and then they go there, that makes sense. Then they go especially there. Because if
yeah,
not, to me, it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah. And
yeah.
it's
I think
vast. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. As
Mm.
Jim said, when I got the camera going, there was a really vast area there away from where we landed, and they're very impressive too. So, yeah, there must be enough people there for this variety of building and stuff to happen. It's obviously not one person's build. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, and they highlighted this when they were talking. I don't know. I mean, I suppose if you want to log into a virtual world and get total peace and quiet with no screaming kids because it's not a green screen, but
Mm.
also without intruders who don't belong, then maybe this is a solution. Personally, I mean, I just like the idea that one can hypergrid to such places. And most people are polite. The hypergrid is vast. It's not as though somebody's going to land here and screw
Mm.
up everybody's meditation. Likelihood is very remote, should we say? Um, so I don't know, but I think it's a valid question. It's sort of occurred to me too. What at the beginning I thought, oh yeah, they're opening up their educational bit, but then of course, well, new avatars, talk about and sort of it's a bit
Mm.
out of place really.
No, but if they come directly from some kind of an organization in real life, here, that is understandable. Then I can understand that. It makes sense.
Mal, did you find the
But
classrooms and the learning spaces?
Um, I thought so. Actually, I
Okay.
got. Yeah, I think I did. Whether I filmed them or not, I might have
Okay.
just found them a bit boring or something. I forget actually. As you see, there's a few places. I mean, my camera is wandering, but I don't think. I think for this region, my wandering basically finished.
All right. Well, there's a
Oh,
lecture
there's
hall. Yep.
yeah, there's one of them. Yeah, yeah. So I got little bits in. I
Hmm.
basically came around the whole region and everything as best I could. Wasn't easy to get in there with the camera, but just
Yep.
up to the door and yeah. Oh, it's just what you mean.
Yep.
These are
Yep.
sort of learning. Yeah,
mhm.
Hmm.
yeah. They've got very. They got. I like the architecture.
Oh yeah, I
um,
did too.
the domes and that little field. It's got a slight feeling of the old the ecological village down in Cornwall.
Mm.
What it's called now. Mixing nature with a sort of dome-like architecture, and it just seems to go together actually. So,
Mm.
but as I say, if all the residents here are of the kind of learning and meditating kind of
Well,
thing.
there's another question I have. Have one of you guys ever tried to do some meditating in world?
I was
No.
invited to on a couple of occasions in Second Life back in the day. Um,
Hmm.
and I must admit, I found it all a bit boring. But to be honest, though, I feel like I do use Second Life for meditating sometimes. I find a nice bit of scenery. I wander around or come around and I'm playing nice, chill out music. And I am, in effect, using it as an environment around me which helps me
Okay. Okay.
meditate. Not
But that
meditate on a given subject, just let my mind wander free, if you see what I
yeah,
mean.
but that's quite a different thing than from
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
what what is
Oops.
I
Yeah,
think what the aim is there,
mhm.
I mean, organized meditation. I went to some yoga classes once and they did some meditation there. And I can understand that it's not really something that I would love to do so much.
Yeah.
But to do that online, I feel it is a strange thing.
And I think what I've done most is exercises in what we would call mindfulness as opposed to
Yeah.
meditation.
What is what? I didn't understand.
Being
Subtle
mindful,
difference. Yeah.
mindfulness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's subtle difference. But actually, well, I don't know. I don't know the mindfulness thing. I'm probably more likely to choose meditation than some kind of mindfulness exercise. Um, Simply because meditation is like fairly solitary. The idea is you go off into
Mm.
your own world and, sort of
Unless
release
it's
yourself for the,
guided meditation. Yeah.
yeah, mindfulness actually brings a bit of the real world back into the
Mm-hmm.
equation in some
Mm-hmm.
ways. But
Yep.
yeah, but very interesting. And I was impressed by, however many residents they got and what they built there. It has the
Oh yeah.
feeling very similar to some of the bits I've been starting to build around here. So uh, interesting in that sense. We'll come back to that in a while. But the next stop on the safari was Bayou. Bye bye. This is never short of some kind of title.
Yeah, it isn't she?
Yeah, this is Bayou. This is a build of New Orleans, and I've been here before. I think we were here last year for the end of a safari or something. It's just a big. Oh, sorry, we're on the slideshow, aren't we? Oh. Um, there we go. People all dressed up carnival style on the stage there. It was one big party, but it was very colourful and fun. Wildwood Bayou, of course, is the grid it was on. Good times for all. The piano and the top of the piano are ideal for dancing. And well, I wasn't so much dancing as playing the bongos, but I do believe I was animated at one point. And
You were. You were.
there's Tosha on the piano too.
Mm-hmm.
We got I
Yeah.
definitely got. Oh well, there she is in action. Huh?
And James
Nifty
and Pet
dancing
Love.
there.
That's right.
Oh
That's
yes,
inspired. That's inspired by your drumming.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's funny. I sometimes don't even recognize James these days on Safari because he looks so different from the James I'm so used to on this show and elsewhere. But yeah. Oh, now this I remember being James. He was wearing those. I used to have loads of in Second Life. These gadgets you wore. You see your own walking light show, so to speak. And oh, don't know where that came from. Ah, this is a picture that I miss. Snoopy, isn't it?
Was that Star? Was she dressed as Snoopy?
No, Sunny was.
Okay,
Oh,
right.
it was Sunny. Oh, she was dressed. Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got another little follower. What's the name of the critters
Woodstock.
attached to you? No, on the top of her head.
Yeah, Woodstock is his little pet. Snoopy has a pet bird called Woodstock.
Oh, right,
Ah,
right.
yeah,
Okay.
Woodstock. Right, right, right.
Right, I'm thinking of that fantasy thing where you have a familiar that goes around with you, but that's something else. Oh yeah, right. So there I am on the bongos. This is where Tosha gets really hyperactive. Actually, you can't tell yet, but you'll see more of it later. And then 5 people managed to jump on top of the piano, and I think, yeah, Thursday's in there. You recognise the safari skirt. Yeah, let the good times roll. So that was fun, and the good times did indeed roll. The final shot there. So moving back to the movie department, yeah, this has got to be the one. Oddly enough, I kept the music on for this, and you notice that I've been going to pains to actually film this at daylight these days. Okay, this is the music pervades the whole sim. Actually, I'm going to keep it quiet or very faint. I have no idea what the music is. It's very nice New Orleans style music, but I don't want to get a copyright strike. So. But again, yes, outside the carnival area, this is a nice sort of build too. I love the way when you're in camera, you can suddenly see the carnival area because it's like
Oh, yeah,
psychedelic
yeah.
colors, in complete contrast to the countryside around it. So, yeah, great fun.
That was
Yep, I recognise there. Neil Steamboat off this side. I mean, basically, the safari didn't move from the street, but obviously, some I didn't see many people wandering around, but they were there for the party. So, seeing get homeless people everywhere in the world, I guess. Yeah. So a bit of everything's thrown in here, basically. So. I didn't quite figure why there's so many tree stumps in the water there, but
Well, that's typical of the swamps in Louisiana.
yeah, well, the stumps in the water. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
I suppose if they're sink underwater, then that kills off the trees, and you're just left with a stump or something.
Yeah, and the water levels change quite a bit with the river.
Right. That is what Mississippi, isn't it? It's the Mississippi River.
No, that'd be yeah, it is Mississippi. You're right.
Yeah, like the old bayou.
and do you remember what those brilliant colors were for in the carnival region? Somebody explained it, but I forgot.
To be honest, I thought it was for the sake of color.
Yeah,
You know?
yellow, purple, and green. Yeah.
No, it is a special, like a carnival color.
Mm-hmm.
I
But
don't
you
know.
don't remember either. Hi, boys.
There were actually so many colors. I mean, it was just overwhelming. It was like a mustard color. I mean, it's not like Rastafarian colors or something where you got the red, gold, green, and heavy concentration of iconic colors. It's just wild, basically. I mean, it made for a good party. It's sort of, I wouldn't call it psychedelic, but the range of color was certainly loud. And in fact, that made it great contrast to this other area.
Yeah, one of the
I
hosts there.
found it.
Yeah, you found it in the blog. The comment from
Yeah.
Fifth Whitehawk. Yeah. Okay.
Purple represents justice, green represents faith, and gold represents power. And those are the typical
The thematic colors.
Mardi Gras
Okay.
colors. I found it.
I kind of figured. What's that Congo? I don't know. Is that Condo Square or Congo Square? I think it's Congo. That is a bit. Oh, actually, it's paused there. That's why. Right. That's the next clip then. Oh, here we are, really getting into action. I've got on my bongos, Tosha on the piano there, letting the times roll. So on top of the piano. Also, quite very much on top of the piano. She's about 1 foot off the surface. One of those animations, eh? So, yes, of course, I couldn't resist. With a superstar band like this on the stage, I had to spend a bit of time filming the concert, didn't I? Look at that pianist hammering away on the keys there. Down on the Mississippi, home of the blues, well, amongst others. Yeah, You're right about a lot of purple. And this is Zydeco music, isn't it? I could probably put it up for a second. Lovely stuff. Talk about meditation, sitting on bongos and pianos and just time disappearing because the music's playing, you think you're in it, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is good. This is good keep me footage. The animation, this bit's a bit odd, but sometimes the bongos animation was really spot on. You know, my hands looked like they were really tapping on the bongos but part of the loop also is a bit crap. You know, didn't quite look right at all. Okay. That was a lovely little interlude there. And
There's a sporting that tail.
What did you say? A tail?
Of course, it's a tail. What do you call these birds?
Peacock?
Yes, it's a peacock tail.
Oh, that's of course. Right. Yes, I
Yes,
know.
yes,
I
yes.
picked up a box of stuff you can, but I never actually got around to opening it and find out what's in it. Oh God. I had to have another 23-second clip, didn't I? Just for myself.
Mm.
This can go on my OpenSim Live portfolio or something. The instant, you know, this really short video. Hey, folks, this is me in the virtual world. And look what I can do. Or at least I thought I could do. Okay. So a little interlude. I thought it's always nice to have a bit of music or something here, and this is fine. Our good friend, and he will be at the Open HIE, Hypergrid International Conference. Um, um, it's actually a new single, and it kind of fits what we've been watching already. Oh, and hang on, there's another clip, Mardi Gras with you, first of all. Yeah. Yeah, well, Woolham Wobbit is who I'm thinking of. It's
Oh,
coming
that's
up.
beautiful.
Yeah, no, this is just a bit of Mardi Gras fashioning here, which is rather nifty.
Wow.
If you're into looks and fashion and stuff, this is
Really beautiful.
that's lovely texture, isn't it? You know,
Oh my gosh.
imagine sort of clothes of another generation made of material like that. It's just it's almost like a peacock in its own right. You know, the what a dress, eh? Lovely. That's a double screen of is this on a loop? No, it's not on a loop. Yeah. And yeah, you're able to get the stuff there. Right. This is Wallen Roberts' new song. And it kind of I'm sure I'm allowed to play it, so fits the mood. Birds are singing loud. Sunshine in my eyes, something has changed. Know what is going on. Yes, I'm sure that spring is coming home. Wasn't it just yesterday? The sun was burning hot. The grass beneath my love. So close, drifting far over blue skies.
Wow, the sound is very bad.
Yeah, it's usually pretty bad over the speakers, but it sounds like it's clipping out.
Yeah.
It's nice to see Willem in the flesh. Hang on.
Didn't hear what you said, Mel.
Trying to lower the volume. I think it is maybe.
I can't really hear it.
No,
Oh, you
I
can't hear
understand.
it.
It's
Oh,
clipping. It's clipping out. It's cutting in and
Yeah,
out rapidly.
oh, okay.
more out than in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, it's a little preview of it anyway. It's nice to see the RL, a bit of AI, a bit of RL, and sort of inspiration of virtual in there too. And I like that music. It's not clipping out for me, but maybe it's just bandwidth or something.
Well, it's also hard to put music through a microphone a second time, and then
Oh, gosh.
Discord likes to control the levels. And
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, of course, most of the time I play silently for copyright reasons anyway. Okay, well, that's a bit. Okay, here's another clip.
But this clip was AI made, right? It was not a
Well,
real clip.
it's used AI in it. You can tell from certain parts of it, but some of the photography is clearly him and his girlfriend.
Mm.
There's a couple of scenes in there that I think were AI, but they look very, very similar. You know, that winding pathway with the flowers and stuff. It looks very like something that would be built in World. And indeed, in this picture here, we're on a still. You know, that on the right hand side there, that tree almost looks like an open sim tree. I can just the very things I've been messing with last week, actually.
Yeah, but I thought also when a person was the guy was walking, you could see that his shirt and his pants did not move. I mean, like in real life, let's say, they would.
Okay.
did you check the fingers? Check the fingers, everybody.
Oh well, that I think they have fixed that with the fingers.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is something called Ludus. This is on the Pangea grid. Um, I'll leave it so the music is really very faint there. I like the look of this. All these things have a bit of music or kind of party sort of thing in common, so these clips sort of blend together rather well.
Oh, do you know who made these?
Do I what? Sorry.
Do you know who made this? Who created
Um,
this?
good problem. I assume there'll be some credits at the end. So I'm not sure if there's not. I probably because I literally find them on the blogs and stuff, and then download them, and then
Okay,
people put
because
credits.
I think most of it is Tina Bay. It looks very
It
much like
does that
Tina.
feel, and of course she's on Pangea, isn't she? Quite a lot. So
Mm.
Ludus, I presume, is the installation name rather than. Yeah, it has that. Certainly has that feeling. So could almost be a teaser for HIE. Well, no, not at all, but like that. The idea of exhibits rather than talks and things. It's
Well, this definitely is Tina Bay.
yeah, Ludus is obviously the name she's given the region.
Hmm.
So of course I got the whole Tina Bay feature that we haven't run yet. We have to run one where we were just talking over it. But the
She
other one,
really is a great artist and astonishing artist.
this is
Just
a
really like
little clip. This is Universe Stockholm, and it was here on Craft Grid actually. It doesn't make for that great filming because this background he's got so it takes over the whole thing. But he's another musician I like. He was back in the Second Life days. Whoops, he was responsible for. He'd play guitar like Dave Gilmour and Pink Floyd, kind of psychedelic kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is long. This is literally a whole concert length. So just sort of promote it because it was here on Craft Grid, and if I can get my mouse on the my broadcast frame is hiding my mouse. Ah! All right, that's not funny. Oh, that's the volume. again, you can see it's. I'm just going to have to be naughty for a minute. I can't see it. I can't see the timeline. Oh, I can now. Okay, because it's quite long. So give you a more of a feel of the place. But as you can see, lots of particles and people, but that backdrop is everywhere. I think the effects here are one of the people from, well, we had the HIE last year. I forget.
Yeah, it looks like Velikaz.
Yeah, that's true. That's him.
And he
And
is on
again, you know,
Craft Grid, I
Velasquez
believe.
looks to me.
Yeah, yeah. I never know whether to pronounce the Z in Velasquez. Thank you, Tosha.
Oh,
yes,
I'm
I don't think you do. I think it's an EZ is like an A sound, but I don't know.
I surely
No.
don't either.
just like an S.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Anyway, you better find this on YouTube back, but I can't be sure. Yes, I think it is is, but and university, and quite a few people in the audience there too. So having great fun there. I have no, I know it's very recent. So I don't quite know when it was. I would have actually gone to that.
Yeah, and I recognize the dancers. Those are very much Velasquez.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And again,
And also the particles are just
Yes.
yeah,
Same
Velasquez.
techniques. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would actually have gone to this if I'd known it was actually on instead of getting in the film afterwards. But yeah. But yeah, that whole technique and that big background is obviously Velasquez's contribution. So this is a bit like the HIE thing he did, where he had the animation characters plus moving backgrounds. You know, it's I don't know, it just feels it's a bit like a billboard that takes away from the actual animation. But there you go. Anyway, you'll find that on YouTube. And there's another one here, which it's actually called Fourth Shen, which is rather nice. I think the Shen is is that short for the lady who runs the OS Fest? Shelen, isn't it? She's got multiple identities, of course. I don't know. I can't remember who filmed this either, unless it comes up in the credits. All I do know is that it is not Karima this week. we don't have a new Karima this week. Right.
It looks rather fascinating, no?
Yeah, I love the sky, and it's like a kind of painting with color adjustments on the separations. But no, I love this. Yeah. Very out of this world. All these strange things, undefinable, really. Talk about meditation. It's almost like this avatar is just meditating.
Very spatial.
Is there music accompanying this, or is it narration?
There is some fake music. Yeah, it's lovely music actually, but I don't know the copyright status. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
I can actually hear it here very faintly, but you really.
Good for you. We cannot.
Yeah. There would be ways of feeding the audio from this into Discord, but we'd have to set things up slightly differently. So might consider
Oh,
doing that. Yeah, we might do it in the
do
future.
you remember about um, Lauru? Lauru made a film festival. She asked
Oh,
all
yeah,
kinds of people to make films, and she
yeah,
wrote. I saw at a glance today. She wrote that the festival has passed, but we can still go there to look at it. Maybe
yeah.
that would be a good idea to
Yeah.
bring
Let's.
some
Yeah,
clips from there.
I did actually go there on the opening day, and
Oh, yeah.
Thursday went later. And in fact, well, now that's over. Let me move over here. Um, okay. HG Safari. Okay. Two other things on Thursday's blog this week. One is getting international at the alternative metaverse thing. They did. This is one they did last year too, where they had a different background and set, for each of the performers, with international flavors. There we are. She just got these. I didn't go to this myself to film. Sorry, Jupiter being a highlight there, and then another safari. This is the
Oh,
one
this
you.
one, yeah.
This is Lottery Destiny. Yeah, so went after. I told her about it. I think. Well, she probably knew, but she asked what it was like when I went. Yeah, all these are all different sort of films, and you close up, you just press where my mouse is there, and it then plays that film on the big screen
Okay.
above. God, God. I hope that's an animesh. A formidable looking bouncer.
Oh,
Yeah,
a
so a
mean
bit.
looking guy.
Yeah, it's a nice big screen. It worked quite well. It just throws, there you can see some of the videographers there by name, um,
Mm-hmm.
who made the films. I have to admit, I probably did get to see all the films. They're all quite short, and some are nice. But well, some of them just look like this sort of ones I see in passing on YouTube and things. Still, but basically, all these people are actually in OpenSim, which is the big difference. They may, and they're some of their films actually aren't necessarily filmed in OpenSim. They're just OpenSim filmmakers, if you see what I mean. As is evident. I keep thinking that's a video. It's actually there's a GIF. So right, and I don't remember where this was. There must have been a dancing bit as well. Oh, more one. We're suddenly getting to sing a lot of costumes this week, aren't we? One way or another. Lovely flexible skirt there. And actually, that's it. So yeah, yeah. I think that is still. I think that I think it's Our Destiny Grid, isn't it? It's called. There we are. OpenSim Film Festival, different filmmakers, different grids, different languages, etc. Plenty of grammar. So I was there. We are. Yes, it is Art Destiny. So the hop address is artdestiny.de, port number 8002/film festival. Yeah, you'll find it basically. So it's all down there at the bottom there, as it usually does. Okay, so while we're on the blogs, right, here we are. Oh, three, right. Okay, talking of craft grid, it's got a good being here in craft, there's this Cafenio blog, which I introduced last week. It's got 3 more posts this week. Lorenza Colicchino, or help me, Tosha. Lorenzo, anyway. City of Women,
Lorenzo.
but place of dialogue with women writers, artists of all times. And, well, God, my mouse.
Oh, that is a very lovely place.
Yes.
The City of the Women is really cool.
Yeah.
You can follow the path and go to different houses.
Yeah, I was there with
And
Safari.
find out
So
about
cool.
different find out about different women writers and
Scientists.
Very
Yeah.
nicely made.
So, James, you were saying something there?
I just said that Safari's been there. It was a good
Oh,
visit
Yes,
and so much
yeah.
information. Yeah.
yes.
I can't find my slider. My mouse is trying to scroll and it's misbehaving. Never mind. Let's see what else is down here. Yeah, there's well, as you can see, the Outer Labyrinth, the House of One's Own. Yeah, let's scroll down to it's a long article. This. So here we are. So March the 21st coming up is World Poetry Day, and if I'm right, yes, I can fast forward to the next post. This, of course, is yet to happen. March the 21st is a couple of, hang on, what is it today? 9th, isn't it? So, yeah, it's nearly 2 weeks away. Probably the end of not this coming week, but the week after, by the sound of it. And World Poetry Day, this is going to be, well, hang on, nice picture. World Poetry Day, a poem, a place, an emotion. And yeah, this is the agenda. Neulab, poetry writing workshop with school institutes. Poetry is born from the sea, and poetry begets poetry. Emotional journey through words, photograph, and music in the regions of craft world. So it doesn't. They don't actually say there's any particular region one should go to, but I'm sure if you log into Graph World and their landing area, there'll be a sign pointing you towards that.
Lorenza Col wait, Colisigno.
Collie Signo, right there.
Signo.
Yeah.
Colisigno.
Yeah. I'm sober with pronunciation. Yeah, I almost need a separate person for every language here. I guess that's what HIE is for. Yeah. So, what was Beauty of Impermanence? Is that? Oh, this is March the 5th. Oh no, that was last week. Okay, so just a couple of things there. Oh yeah, no, but it's like Beauty of Impermanence, March the 5th. That was this week too. Yeah. The carp thing again, which of course we saw on when we were touring one of your regions, didn't we? Oh, 12th of this. Oh no, March the 12th. We're not. Yeah, this is 3 days away. Yes, okay. Beauty of Impermanence, Traces of Water and Light will be inaugurated. It's an exhibition conceived to blend traditional art with the potential of artificial intelligence. The event will take place in an evocative space specially created to host the works of Sergi Zarf and Mario Fontanella. I think I've got that one right, actually.
You get it.
The exhibition offers a journey through digitally generated images that invoke the lightness and delicacy of watercolor, restoring the mutability and fragility of human existence. And this blog, as I say, you'll find this at Kafeneo.blog, KAFENEIO.blog, BLOG, /2025/03/05, and then it's just called The Beauty of Impermanence. And you can read that whole spiel there. If I wasn't feeling lazy, I'd actually get the browser to read it to you, but that would be very boring, wouldn't it? Too much AI around. Just it's just not a good way to do things when your mouse doesn't work properly. Okay, well, just stay there with the picture. Okay, moving on. Now, this one is interesting. The Virtual Education Journal. This has been VEJ, they're called. They've been publishing for many, many years, but I hadn't got one for quite a while. And I think I've got a collection of old issues somewhere. But they've revamped, and pleased to say they're not solely involved in Second Life anymore. This latest issue, the new look, has quite a lot on OpenSim too, if not a couple of other things, and I did. Can we scroll on this one? Check that. Right. Yeah, those are the various issues. And I got in touch yesterday in Second Life, obviously, Not obviously, coincidentally, with the editor, and plan to. It's too short notice to get her on today, but I've friended her OpenSim avatar and Wolf Territories, and hopefully she will be on maybe next week or the week after if she's keen to come on. Yeah, well, they've got a big thing. So, actually, going to the latest issue. This is it. We can actually look at it a bit. We did this with what was it, blah blah, the other week, and it went down rather well. This has got a lot more pages though. It's 130, so I'm going to quickly go through it. Just basically stopping on the things that are interesting. This is her name, Rosie Nero, and she has Wolf Territories advertised the same name, and fairly recent apparently. That's her editorial. Obviously, you have to read this full size for yourself. Interview with Val Librarian Greg. She's very dominant in SL, but we often see her in OpenSim too. She has regions here as well. Dr. Valerie Gregg. And her avatar and her real life one, by the look of it, are recognizable because of the hat with all the books on it. Can't miss that. So, an extensive interview with her, and then a bit on their own relaunch party. Rainforest Adventure, this is actually in Second Life, so they haven't deserted Second Life here. They collaborative advocacy. The names educationalists come up with, really. Carbon-free virtual world simulation. Can't remember where that is. Oh yeah, this is Open Simulator. LSEC College Group. Oh, it's a local network installation using Open Simulator. So this is really an offline networked site that they're obviously keen on. So they're talking about there. One often forgets that people can be literally running their own versions of OpenSim that aren't Hypergrid enabled, but you know, private, shall we say. Spatial is another fascinating thing I keep an eye on as a sort of world that you can create and put the stuff from them on the web. This is obviously just a sort of quite long tutorial. What happens when two artists, a scripter and a training facilitator, join forces in the metaverse? Do we want to know? I don't know. Oh yeah, this they're talking about Animaster, which is a program for controlling Animesh. Cooper Swizzle, we know, of course, and Carla Kane Yoshikawa have evolved and made Animaster. I want to try and get a copy of that because it sounds quite interesting to fiddle with. Okay. Right. This is various examples of sims and things. I'm flicking. Oh, here that was an open sim. Is AI holding infinite possibilities for open sim creators? Well, open sim sort of, but AI more to the point there, I think. Oh yeah, and of course, as I mentioned earlier, they do. They cover the Open Sim World's Fair. They are pains to say they went to a preview before it was actually open to the public. Lone Wolf took them around, I think, and offered them the space. And I would imagine they saw it at its best. But they don't make any mention of lag or whatever. But anyway. Now they have a base now in Wolf Territories, and they're going to be opening another one in Kitely. Why they would need two on on Hypergrid, I'm not sure, but they are. Okay, so all this is parts of the. Oh no, this is on Kitely there. So the World's Fair tutorial on getting there by the look of it. Connecting literature in a virtual environment, Caledonia Sky Tower. I think she's in Open Sim. No, she's better known in Second Life. Right, this is they have a virtual environments thing, I think. Okay, this is so small even I can't read it. So we can look at it in overview, so to speak. building 3D AI, meta literacy. This is where you can visit them on youth territories. They've got a headquarter, a conference center, and they've got an exhibit at the World's Fair at the bottom there. And this is quite interesting. Leo Lobo, our friend Cynthia Coloni, doctor, has written this piece on collaboration and learning at the Open Simulator Community Conference, including a picture there, which is a fireside chat with me and some bloke with spiky hair. Can't think who that could be. But anyway, a whole load of pictures. There we are. And also non-profit commons. This is actually in Second Life, however, but they're sort of vaguely related to Avicon. And full interview here with Lone Wolf and Zenandaro. Welcome to Wolf Territories. So this is of particular interest, of course, to us out there on the Hypergrid. I wonder if there will be much of a Hypergrid. Wolf Territories take over the whole thing. As you can see, it's all full of information there. Virtual worlds. No, I keep getting this confused with virtual best practice education. It's not. This is Virtual Worlds Education Consortium, and Becky Adams and Val Librarian again. They've been producing some fairly recently quite good films. Given that they don't hide their interface or anything, they've got a nice sort of TV setup. But again, this is this at the moment, as far as I know, is it's just in Second Life. Using OpenSim for education. This whole end of the magazine seems to be Leo Lobo together anyway. And don't know where she say that Open Simulator features God mode. Well, it might if you got your own region, but whether that is to be advertised, I'm not quite sure. Explore the history of Poland in Second Life. That's interesting. Second Life again, but the history of Poland is rather interesting. More about Virtual Worlds Education Consortium. They've obviously got a lot of their own things. This is an advert for Virtual Worlds Best Practices in Education. As far as I know, it's only in Second Life this year, and unfortunately, it also collides statewise with our Hypergrid International Expo, although it being it's American based. So whereas the International Expo is European based, the hours probably only collide minimally. Can't be sure about that. And there we are. I did say it's a long. And there we go. We finished. But I thought I'd rush through that. I mean, if she actually is able to come on and talk about that magazine, I'll keep it around in case she wants to refer to particular things. But not so easy to read, but enough to give you an impression of how it looks, so to speak. So I will now return to where we were in this department, except I can't see anything anymore. What's going on here? Oh, I'm in the wrong blasted thingy. What's it?
Well, I'll take a moment then to tell you, if you want to go to Open Sim Fair and look around and have a place that you don't crash so much, there's a nice and quiet place that is on the region 30, and that is the friendly English chat.
Yep.
There are people of all nationalities, and we sit together and chat in English for people especially that know to write and read fairly well in English, but don't know much about talking, and they want to learn it. And it's very nice. Last time I was there, we were reading poetry and talking about poems, and it was really very nice. It was with M. Jennings, who
Yep.
Oh, yes.
yeah, he was a poetry teacher in college, and so he has a lot of experience and could was very helpful in explaining what a poetry might mean and stuff like that. And he's a delightful reader. It's a joy listening to him.
Yeah,
We
that
should,
Region 30. I thought that was a nice exhibit for Craft Grid, too. That was a nice presentation.
All right, we should get a if that's a regular event for the chat place, we should get a little poster to put on the show here, advertising it each week.
Yeah.
Whatever. So yeah. The more events we can put up, the better. It's interesting being on craft because I've got so many things seem to have popped up into my radar now that I hadn't come across before. Okay, well, I have a final piece of film here. I actually am very fond of going to Inworld. We should advertise them too, come and think of it. And they have a section of regions, but they have latest. And I tend to go through the latest list and scroll along quite a bit, and try and find sort of latest basically shows grids that maybe haven't got many people in them or any, but that are relatively new. And I like look at the new things basically. And I found this one. James actually has a lower third he can put up for this, a fairy tale sort of thing. And this actually starts with an overview from the air, and it looks like a heavily populated island of trees. And not much else from a distance, but when you actually get down with the camera in there, it's a nightmare to navigate, but it is very wonderful. So here we go. So this is how it looks like the old elfin houses on the tops there. You can see there's a few things we can see in this view, but you can see it's just a relatively small island. But it certainly was enough there to fill 12 minutes of a film, as you'll see when we land, I think is the expression we want.
Where was that?
It's a grid called James has got the third. Hang on, I forget.
Kushaki Fairy Tale.
Kushaki Fairy Tale. Right, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. One part of the L shows up here, and the other part doesn't. That's what's getting confused. Yeah. So yeah, viewers are watching at home can actually. Oh, here we are. This is the welcome sign. Briefly, you can see the address on the lower third. So little firefly things. Didn't know which way to turn. There was so much enchanting things to look at in every direction. Some of them are a bit similar, but you can forgive that because the quality of immersion is what makes it here, really. And it, contrary to what you might think, it wasn't particularly laggy. In fact, it was empty when I was there, but I think my camera was getting stuck. But I do notice this because I work in camera mode when I'm building quite a lot. And I'm doing a little bit of that, which I haven't done for a long while, really. But it's very easy to get your camera stuck on all the bits of things like a tree, and you can't get your camera away to get into another area. And it's something that happens when you've got a really dense region. I can say, why can't I move? Oh, yeah, my camera's stuck on something, and I'll have to pan all the way out to find out what it is. And but
the life of a camera person, Mal.
Yes, I know. Well, exactly. It's not too many ways around that, but it's worth it if the experience is good.
Well, I did have to ask Thurza to lower the height of the trees at the HIE grid just for the camera people.
Wow.
Oh yes, you did already.
I did. That's right.
Well, I don't know if she did.
She did. It looks great. It was a good improvement. Yep.
Yeah, you have to. Well, I remember, I started doing a lot of this stuff. It was me being the camera person, mostly in Second Life and things. And my rule is you just turn up and do stuff and preferably film people without them. Well, obviously not going in and filming something you shouldn't without permission. But the idea is you go in and nobody knows you're there. You do it without involving them. So you learn to make do with a lot of quirky little ways these things are put together. If you've got big trees everywhere, you've got to watch out for getting stuck in the leaves, for example. But then you've got other things like presenters who've got a PowerPoint behind them and they just don't seem to know where to stand in relation to their PowerPoint. And so you end up, do I lock on the presenter or do I lock on the PowerPoint? And over the years, of course, various tools have come along and things like that. But you know, I filmed an awful lot. You know, we're talking about a decade ago now, at least, in Second Life mostly, where there were kind of regular sort of talk and presentation events, and I would just roll up and film them all. Well, as long as they were of interest to me and whatever. But it is an art. It's not like just taking a camera in the real world somewhere and pointing and filming. You know, there's no. Since when did you film a piece of film in the real world and encounter the invisibles? You know, doesn't happen in real life. Anyway, no, but in here, it's this is lovely. And moving around, I mean, actually, I suppose looking back at it now, some of it's looking rather samey. But you saw what it looked like from the air when we started. And it's only one region, but you know, when you're wandering around there, all the twists and turns on these pathways, there's really they've jammed a lot into it, and it's got a commonality, you know, to the look of things. It's not like one of these things where you start in the north, and by the time you've got to the south of the sim, you've seen something completely different. It's a kind of integrated little island. Pity about the close-ups, that's all I can say. And I've been getting quite fond of these trees that definitely aren't real-world trees, but they do have that sparkling look. I like that pathway, actually.
Yes, it's beautiful.
I actually tried to get a copy of that, but it wasn't happening. I've actually got something similar I can use, but got to find the textures for the mesh first. And these cute little, this is where the fairy tale in the name comes into play, a little hobbit thing, except this one's under a tree. Oh, this is a cutie. That's like the fairy tale glade, isn't it? I used to have a region in one of my open sim offline things, and part of it you went under a mountain and there was a sort of fairy tale place in there, and that was my excuse to use lots of sort of luminous colors and things like that that didn't fit the outside landscape. I think this is actually better than my streams, actually. I actually have, and I've actually visited in our land here. I found a lovely little thing. It looks like a board where you buy things from, but it's not actually. It's a mesh water maker, and you can choose all sorts of settings to get different kinds of water in mesh. And, I've done a waterfall like that, and I've done a river like that at the far end of the scene. So, would you be sent? I should have actually sent this in advance, come to think, in all the chaos. Well, of course, you're offline for a while. But crystals in a cave. That's always a nice touch, the hidden cave. Would you be tempted to go here? That is my question. Is this appealing to you guys?
Oh, yes, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
And I presume James was just silently agreeing.
It'd be nice to know who the builder was. That's the only part that I miss.
Oh, good point. Good point. Yeah. If you will find it on OpenSim World, and it will tell you who posted the entry, and they probably are the builder, given that it's just one region. Look at these are rather cute. Even more fun if they're Animash, but they've got that fairy tale quality, and these little houses there, they're rather funny. I couldn't see any. I couldn't find any of this again from above. That was a really infuriating thing. I had to be on the ground and just hope that I was walking in the right directions and going somewhere I hadn't been before. Nice little butterflies or something. That's just this made me think. Well, when it's like a painting, a wonderful texture of these trees and stuff, like an abstract painting of some sort, with no clear meaning, just wonderful texture. I'm a sucker for that kind of thing. So a couple of minutes left to go here. Okay, I have something loaded here, by the way. It's a PDF, and it won't actually load into this window. But there was an official release from OpenSimGrid, by the way, OS Grid. Actually said they are actually offline now, kind of ahead of schedule because they can't cope with so many backups taking place and everything else. It's basically not been a usable experience. So they're now mostly offline. Other than that, I think that will be it when we finish this. Colourful flowers. That's one thing I haven't discovered to bring down on Craft Grid. Yes, I forget which of my avatars had the collection of mushrooms. All the giant colourful mushrooms. And I had some mushroom houses, actually, but again, I don't know where they are. Some forgotten grid with some forgotten avatar.
It's a beautiful closet. Did you see that there?
Here we are, Kishaki. And sorry, did I see what? I did a double. Let me rewind. Did I see something there just now? Tosha?
Huh?
I thought you
What?
said, did I see something, you said?
Oh, I said this closet. I like that very much.
Ah, right. Okay.
That cupboard looks very pretty. But I like the rest too. Don't get me wrong, but this cupboard especially appeals to me.
Yeah, it's the Kashaki grid or whatever, as you can see, they've got landmarks there to other places. On the grid.
See the flying books.
Yes, there's a nice. I wanted a copy of that. Look at me trying to get it. Wasn't having any. I've got some of that. I've got piles of books like that, and I've got animation, but not that one. That sort of combines the big pile with the floating books and everything else. The only one I've got the pile of books, and I've got a Dust Devil thing that animates, but not the books. So perhaps maybe I'll get a chance to fiddle around and put one together. Oh, and there we are. Welcome to the malware. So that is our that's it. That is it for this week, so to speak. There won't be any Safari Roundup for a few more weeks now, although we might do the odd show where we look at some stuff we haven't broadcast yet, like Tina Bay's thing, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I've also got the concert by what's his name, keyboard player, who's late keyboard player, has passed away now. I forget. But yeah, so the beginning of April would be when Safari is back. It will actually be, I think it's the week after the Hypergrid International Expo conference. So talking of that, there's your reminder. April 4th to 6th is the Hypergrid International Expo. And next week, up and coming. I can't tell you. We may look a bit more at the Virtual Education Journal thing, or I might get thingy about. Sorry, I'm abstract-minded today. For that, the film festival lady, not Laurie. Art Destiny. Never mind. Yeah. So these things come and go. We sort of they come at the last minute usually, and we fill the show with them. So anyway, I hope we do have a guest for next week. We still have to friend a lot of people so we can get them into this studio on Craft Grid instead of the OS Grid one, which is no longer there. In fact. For the moment, at least. So catch up with people and sort of set dates and stuff. And still working on the HIE theme, which does take a bit of time as well as my building here. So we'll be back with some live guests again shortly. So I'm I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. It's do you know that feeling you get when you fly? I don't know. Is it to America or from America? It's called jet lag, depending on the on the actual direction you're going, and then you go the other direction, you don't feel a thing. I feel like I've got jet lag at the moment. I don't know if it's something to do with building here or teleporting to grids that are in the wrong direction or in the wrong time zone. It's one of those weeks. It really is. Anyway, so any thoughts for our viewers this week? James, let's start with you.
Yeah, not so much. The safari visits have been fantastic, and just getting ready for HIE is probably the biggest thing on my plate right now. It's going to be another great couple days of conference. I'm looking forward to it, and not really conference convening. Really, it's great.
Yeah, it's it's not a conference or convention really. It is an expo with events in it, really, isn't it? You know, there are so many booths there now. You know that that proves the point of the word expo, really, as an exhibition or exposition. And yeah, it celebrates everything really. It's not the huge party that
like the World's Fair.
On you. Oh well, World's Fair is a. I don't know whether it's a party that's moving or not, but it's yeah, like the Bayou thing earlier. Yeah, it's it falls bit. There's a bit of conference to it, but then again, the main stage is also occupied by multimedia type events too, with music and articles and NPCs and stuff like that. So yeah, all great fun. So we'll have fun there. Tosha, anything new to report to comment on?
No, I'm also looking forward very much to the HIE, the expo.
Yeah.
It's still some weeks and a lot of work still, but we have such interesting artists and so wonderful musicians too, and I hope we have some great parties also. I think that will be really a great event.
Yeah.
And what I always think is so fascinating about it, that it shows the language
Multilingual. Yeah, multilingual.
place that OpenSim really is. We have artists and presenters in 4 different languages, on their own languages, and all translated to 5 other languages. Well, the corresponding, plus the English, plus now we also have a Portuguese um, interpreter. Everything will be translated to Portuguese also.
In theory, we could run this, with 4 different languages each time. And actually, I'm not suggesting we do. Work involved, we need a lot of people, but you could almost run it with an interpreter, a group system for every language in the world. So you're translating from, I don't know, Portuguese.
Yeah, but
Yeah, no, I'm not suggesting we do it, but it's just the idea that on the horizon.
But the problem is that when you and I think that is why we keep until now with the 4 or 5 languages, is when you interpret or when you translate something into a language that is known to you yourself. Even if you use the AI, you have to proofread it, you have to correct it. And when you come into languages that nobody in the group that prepares the whole event knows anything about it,
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean,
getting very difficult. You only rely and then on the
No, it
Um,
would have to, you could never expand it into other languages unless you had somebody, taking charge of
yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, and
It's
also,
the idea that, people can come in English and enjoy it just as much, even if
yes.
you're French,
Well,
Portuguese, whatever.
the very cool system, I don't know who elaborated that, but is that all the presenters, as long as they talk, their presentation will be translated in note cards, which will be fed fitting to what they are saying in the in the chat, in the group chat, and everybody that goes there can pick his own language group chat, so that you will get always the chat of your own language, and that is really fascinating. But it's a lot of work, and it really is a good thing that the ones that feeding the note cards in their own language, because if not you get completely confused, you don't know
Yeah.
when you missed something, or then it gets all strange.
Yeah, I don't envy that at all anyway, even a new language, because there's so many variations and, a short sentence in one language is a long sentence in another and things like that.
Yeah,
Not-
yeah.
It's not just a transcribing thing, it really is a translating thing. So,
Well, yeah, but it's more because people might talk like, I don't know, 5 sentences in a row,
yeah.
but you cannot translate and put on note cards or feed into the chat all these 5 sentences, because you take a lot more time to read than you do to listen.
But
You,
yeah, that's I think is don't they as a rule they provide a synopsis beforehand, don't they? So the note card
yeah,
can contain the gist of what's happening rather than every single word.
yeah,
Um, enough to understand it without
yeah.
going into
Yes, 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 yes.
deep detail. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Well, yes,
anyways, I'm looking really forward to it. I think it will be great fun.
yeah. And we're already in March, so all this is less than a month. Well, it's barely 3 weeks,
Yeah,
4 weeks or 3 weeks, but it's really imminent, So you have to forgive us if a lot of our time is spent focusing on that and not this show.
mm, mm.
But no, we're still here. We're still here until then.
You you better not talk about it, but because with my complete computer crash, I lost all the build that I did for, especially for HIE.
Oh, yeah, that's
So I have to do it all over again, and
That's
that's
right. Well,
frustrating.
I listened. I heard, yeah, when you said you lost that, I was concerned, but I didn't realize it was actually the Machu Picchu thing was actually for HIE, wasn't
No,
it?
the Machu Picchu thing was not for IE, but
Oh,
the thing that I made for HIE also got lost.
oh
So,
dear.
so that's
Um,
really a problem. Well, but anyways, I will cope with it.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
we're all
I'm,
around to help you, and I wish you wish you
I'm
well.
big and strong.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure you're. Well, you cope from this disaster midweek pretty quickly, I must say. So
Yeah.
recovered. Yes, we'll get there in the end. We all will, I think. Whatever. Okay, so that's it for us this week. We will be back same time, same place next week. It will be an hour earlier in well, it will be an hour earlier in Europe, but it will be noon Pacific time, whatever that turns out to be for however many weeks it continues to be. 7 hours separate from 8. Never mind, never mind. We are in this mixed period where for 2 or 3 weeks we're at odds with the United States. I think we already are anyway, aren't we? Oh, what's his name? Okay, okay. So I'd like to thank my right hand man here with all the knob fiddling and sitting, talking, etc. James Atlloud, thank you very much.
Yeah, sure thing, Mel, and thanks as always for bringing us together on the program.
Yep. Absolutely wonderful. I can see. I'm looking at the screen, and over your shoulder, I can see our noisy canine bouncing about like mad. He's not making any noise, but I think he might be ready for his meal. Okay, and also thank you to you, Tosha, my wonderful co-host, Tosha Tyran. Thank you, Tosh.
Well, you're very welcome. It's been great fun, as always.
Indeed. And yeah, great fun. Even if the world is falling apart and our computers are falling apart, it is still great to come here and have fun. That's what it's all about. Okay, and yeah, it's goodbye from me, Mal Bones. Like, I wish you all a very good morning, a very good afternoon, a very good evening, and indeed a good tomorrow, depending on wherever and whenever you are. And it's a wrap, so we're out of here.